please step out. See what is happening in the world. AI is solving what has already been solved in a much better way, efficient way, quick way. But there is so many things yet to be explored, yet to be done in 10 different other ways. I don't think the AI will ever do it.
So recently, I think you've been funded, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of new startup founders, right? They look forward to start something new. So for all those young brains who want to start something of their own, so what are your thoughts? I mean, what is the pathway which they must look forward? So now today when we speak about the student fraternity, right? A lot of them want to work, but somewhere they have a fear in mind. Fear of a lot of things. It can be fear of respect. It can be like, what if I do this? वो क्या सोचेगा? Like, सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग? There's always that saying, right? So now with these contexts, the student can always think about कि चलो ये नहीं, let me do this. Because today everybody knows to write, but everybody is not comfortable writing. So how would you take that, the art of storytelling, or how important the storytelling is?
See, the best marketeer, best advertisers for yourself is you. With this generation, the problem is, I don't know why they feel that expressing is overrated. Why they feel expressing is cringe in their word. No, it is important to tell the stories. Otherwise, how will anybody know who you are?
Hello everyone, welcome back to another enlightening episode of GIBS Talks IRE Podcast, where we talk about innovation, research and entrepreneurship, where people actually living it. I'm Sandeep Ansali, your host for today's podcast, and I'm really happy and privileged that today's guest has started her journey as a student who just wanted to earn while studying, and somewhere between that, a struggle and the world she saw around her. A company was born. She is a TV presenter, serial entrepreneur, and she built environmental composites, clean water, publishing, solar robotics, and now she's building what could become India's largest student gig economy. She surveyed millions of students before she wrote even a single line of code. She signed an MOU with the government of Karnataka. She has pitched on national television. She has delivered TEDx talks as well as delivering leadership lessons across various institutions. She is the co-founder and CEO of TimbuckDo, a platform on a mission to connect over 20 crores students to real earning opportunities, student deals, and career readiness tools. Let's welcome Ms. Mythri Kumar. All right, Ms. Mythri, thank you so much for joining in. It's a pleasure having you today.
Thank you for inviting us and making us part of the amazing work that you guys have been doing. Just with the numbers that you've already recorded, 120 piece of content, I was like, wow, that's a commitment. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And this is moreover the engagement. What we do is basically for the audience, is for our students rather, and to make them more aware about what industry is. And since it is a part of our IRE club, IRE Talks, so IRE stands for Innovation, Research and Entrepreneurship.
Nice.
So for all our audience who would love to know who Mythri Kumar is, so if you could just give us a brief intro of yourself.
Sure. Mythri, I came to Bangalore to do my graduation like any other student with your esteemed university or college would be. Been an entrepreneur for good 8+ years now.
Amazing.
Built 2 companies, had to exit, but I call it a successful exit. It was a quick win for me in life. Since then, I cannot think of doing anything else but build something. I love 0 to 1 journey. So yeah, I'm a graduate of, if you see my background, I'm a graduate with journalism as my majors, but I have nothing in relationship with whatever I studied. So I've always taken a very unconventional path. But yeah, enjoyed whatever life threw at me.
So do you feel that, don't you think there's a lot of glamour in journalism? You have done your hosting, you have done anchoring, you have been into renewable energies, a lot of things you have done in life. Why this platform which you built?
See, today being co-founder and CEO of TimbuckDo, I feel everything that I've done in the past is now finally coming to some purpose. I'll tell you, I've always been a person coming from a tier 3 city. You didn't have a lot of opportunities growing up back home. So whatever came your way, you started saying yes, yes, yes. Honestly, I didn't think I'll be a journalist. Of course, I did my graduation because as a subject, it was very fascinating to me. And then I went for a marketing opportunity in that news channel. And they said, you speak Kannada well. Do you want to try, hosting a show? I was like, yes. Then I learned it's not easy to sit and do the reading or be a host, right? You'll have to be a multitasker to do so. See, that multitasking today helps me to be a better co-founder, better CEO. Again, same happened with renewable energy. I have no background of renewable energy. My both parents come from humble background of being teachers, educationists. So for me, someone said, "Hey, you speak well. Do you want to do some sales in renewable energy?" I was like, "Okay." Said another yes to it. Learned renewable energy. Went to China. Learned manufacturing. Came back. Started company. But after 20 days, it was demonetization. October 20th, I registered my first company, and November 8th was demonetization.
Okay.
Had to shut the shop, come back, again open later, and that company got acquired, merged, kind of a situation happened. But I'm so glad I did that, because today that shamelessness comes from that part, right?
I think that's one of the things which is very, very important these days, right? Yeah. You said that you have said yes to a lot of things, and then you're basically from Tier 3 city. So my next quote, I feel this is very important for all our audience, that a lot of people are hesitant to say yes. One, to try multiple things. Correct. Because they feel, for example, now we are talking about AI. Everybody is trying to jump into AI and say, let's do AI, let's do AI. Not necessary that everybody has to do AI. There are a lot of other things which I'm sure whatever is your forte, you can do it.
Yeah.
What is your thought when you say, should anybody try multiple hands-on things? Because there's always the different, thought process which says jack of all and master of none.
Yeah.
So how do you take that as?
But that proverb actually, continues. We have only said the first half of the proverb.
Yes, I'm aware.
But I'll tell you, see, you need to know who you are, basically. Sure. You need to explore who you are. That's what I did with my life. And I always recommend people or request people that you try multiple things while you're young and stupid. When you have the risk appetite, when there is no EMI wala pressure, when there is no family to take care, or you are responsible for someone's life, before you get into those complexities in life, go try as many things as possible, because you need to know where you are organically doing well. What is your internal design? Because the problem is, you've always been told. In fact, I came to Bangalore to do my civil service because my parents thought, because my daughter is very good at history and other subjects, she will master. You'll not believe, I did a lot of part-time jobs in college, and I'm so grateful to that exploratory part of my life, because I realized I'm not an administrator at all. I'm a storyteller, I'm a marketer, I love building product. So say yes. I always say, because sitting in this place, I cannot say some stupid things. Being responsible, what I say is, when the risks are low in your life, try, say yes, take the chance, go do it. Kya hi hoga, fail ho gaya. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Until unless you're like majorly creating some economical problem for your circle, I feel go try, do those things, be stupid, fail. Maza aayega.
I'm literally getting so excited. The reason is the way you put across the energy is what is coming out of. So what happens is, aaj ka Gen Z, if you speak about, right? They say that's okay. We have laptop, we have AI, we can do everything. But do you think working on field and working on systems make a difference?
Of course. See, COVID is the biggest example, right? We thought, abhi work from home is going to be the new norm. Studying from home or house or hostel is going to be the new norm. No, we are community people. It's a community-driven exercise. आप Netflix में जितना भी अच्छे से आपके बिस्तर पे you watch the movie, but when you sit in the theater amongst 100 other people and put that whistle at the hero and heroine entry, that's community enjoyment, or community learning is. You cannot. You will have to go out. You're a social being. Okay, for how long will you be watching mobile or being isolated? By design, as human, you are not designed at all. But yeah, going back to the question, please step out. See what is happening in the world. AI is solving what has already been solved in a much better way, efficient way, quick way. But there is so many things yet to be explored, yet to be done in 10 different other ways. I don't think so AI will ever do it.
And I'm sure AI cannot do anything and everything. Yes, there are certain limitations for that as well, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to understand, how was your journey from student, being a student, to the founder and CEO of TimbuckDo now?
Honestly, I'm not surprised where I am in my life because I've always been a dreamer. My favorite pastime as a kid was in the corner of the room whole day biting my nail and imagining my life. Today it's called virtual execution in all the management words. But I was always a dreamer. I've always dreamt that I will have like an 8-9-year-old girl. I have a long sedan. There is a driver in a white uniform. I'm sitting behind. I'm working. And
so your manifestations have really worked very well.
I prepared myself to this day. So I thank every day for universe to whatever that young girl's dream was to make it come true. But I think that dreaming helped me. Whenever like opportunity came, I said yes because I had prepared myself many years ago. So I've always been an ambitious girl. I've always been a storyteller. I was a very weirdo kid. But honestly, like I said, I'm not surprised where I am in life at all. And this is not the end. This is still a scratch. I still feel too many things to do. I'm just running a small startup currently. It's not yet there.
Amazing. So we would love to understand more on your startup, what it is, for all our audience who would love to understand. Since you spoke about the gigs, you spoke about the students fraternity. So let's explore what opportunities it is for all the students.
Sure. Would love to speak about my baby any day.
Very true.
Thank you for letting us speak about TimbuckDo. So TimbuckDo started in year 2022. Started with, again, a personal problem, but to put out there what is TimbuckDo. TimbuckDo is a platform for college students where they can come and pick up some part-time jobs.
Okay.
I will, pin on that. We don't do internships. We only provide part-time or gig opportunity for college students. It can be anything from coding to graphic designing to being a barista to a delivery executive, or event crew, anything that you think you are capable of, where you can come and earn some money for yourself after your college hours.
Nice.
So that's for student. But for any employer or an individual, TimbuckDo is a platform today which offers convenience basically. As an individual, I can hire for my personal needs, like I need a home tutor, I need somebody to come take my dad for a movie watching. It can be even for businesses who wants to hire for their inventory. A lot of coffee shops hire through us for their weekend baristas only. There are a lot of retail shops who hire, store executives during their sales period. So for an employer, wherever you need an educated, flexible, on-demand workforce, it's usually called pink collar. So TimbuckDo is a category creator today in the pink collar. You have heard white, blue, and gray collars, right? So we are a pink collar, which is the middle segment of the pyramid, where you need flexible, educated, on-demand workforce for yourself. Students are the best fit for that.
Amazing. So I think more than the revenue making, as you rightly mentioned, a lot of people, you were very precise on it is not an internship. So when I say, what is the major difference when I say gig and internship?
See, internship usually comes in the format of knowledge transfer. You have studied so-and-so subject. Now it's time for you to get into a real environment and get that exposure. So it's still a knowledge transfer and exposure. And I'm making a bold statement, please, because I'm inside the college campus, do not hold me for it. But because college makes it mandatory and there is marks and attendance attached to it, students are choosing internship. If college is not making it mandatory, they are not going to choose it. So because there is no ROI for anyone here, right? It's a knowledge transfer. I get it where education system, where government, everyone, policymakers are coming from an internship standpoint. But you need to know that if there is no defined give and take, no system will ever succeed. The other side of what we do, part-time jobs, is that there's a clear definition to what is to be. It's a contract, right? You come and work with me for 4 hours. Here is your 800 rupees. So both the parties, both demand and supply, know that there is a defined give and take.
Give and take policy, yes.
You can't design some photos for me or design some posts for me. Here is your 800 rupees. Or you come, be a home tutor for my brother or my child. Here is your 1,000 rupees for a week. So there is a very defined give and take. And let me also spill another, interesting fact here. This is a reward-driven generation, right?
True.
For everything, we've spoiled them by, acha, you passed 10th in so-and-so months, I'm taking you on a holiday, I'm buying you watch, I'm buying you mobile. So for every milestone, for every successful milestone, we have already bribed them.
Yes.
Now, when you tell, oh, you come work, see how they're not going.
They're not going.
They will come for the sake of certificate. Beyond that, there is no value that they see. It's not my words. It's the students' words. I am just, but when it comes to gig, right? Let's assume one of your student is working in burger shop. I give this example everywhere. So today they run out of cheese in the burger shop. Will your student pull the shutter and close the store? No, right? They will still manage to sell the burgers without cheese. And now a cranky customer walks in and they were like very rude to the student, like, what kind of shop is this? It's a basic thing. Cheese, like they shout. Student will not say, as a part-timer, will not say, get out of my store, right?
True.
They will still say, so sorry, ma'am, can I offer you a Coke? Can I do something for you? What are they learning here? It's inventory management.
Very true.
Which is one of your syllabus. Customer behavior, again, a syllabus of an MBA.
True.
Critical thinking, micromanaging of macro organization. So what we tell them is you learn everything in college. College is important. Community learning is very, very important. But go to real work world, do some real work in exchange to money so that you don't lose interest in that. You see an instant reward there. Also, other byproduct of gig or part-time jobs is, because it's not mandatory, I am flexible to try everything. Today I will work as an event crew. There is a big industrial expo happening for 3 days. I will go work as an hostess. And next few days, I will take up some other gig which is related to maybe yoga, teaching yoga to someone, because I know yoga kind of a situation. So in 2 years or 3 years, try 15 to 16 different type of job.
They also get to learn, like, what am I good at?
Yes. That discovery, self-discovery will come when you become, and market is also immediately rewarding you, right?
True.
You've been a good graphic designer, so same client will refer you to someone else.
True.
So that validation is required when you're studying, so that you can navigate yourself and make a better career choices, rather than getting into some place where you don't have heart at all, and then sit and complain about your manager and see some reels about it and laugh about it, and then midlife crisis hit. It's better get that validation at an early stage.
So this I think creates a pathway for a student that, okay, these are my interests.
Exactly.
This is where probably I can land myself in my career.
Yeah.
So that will add a lot of weightage.
Correct.
So when you spoke about the give and take or the reward policies, which most of these, everybody needs it, to be very frank, even when we work, what we would say for us, the rewards is always the number.
Yeah.
Right? Or probably it can be something where if somebody comes and acknowledges and say, ma'am, thank you, Mythri ma'am, because of you, I've started my venture.
Yes.
Or I've got into business, or I've got into job, anything. So now today when we speak about the student fraternity, right, a lot of them want to work, but somewhere they have a fear in mind. Fear of a lot of things. It can be fear of respect. It can be like, what if I do this? वो क्या सोचेगा? Right? सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग? There's always that saying, right? So now with these contexts, the student can always think about कि चलो ये नहीं, let me do this. Because today everybody knows to ride, but everybody is not comfortable riding.
Correct.
Whether it is Rapido or Uber or any parcel delivery service, right? So now in that context, if I say what all can an individual do or think of, I'm sure today the problem is they are unable to think.
Agreed.
They have a lot of potential. For example, I have there about 10 things which I can do. I never realized. So by any chance, when you shortlist the students or when you onboard the students, is there anything where you try to understand about students?
Of course. So profiling of students is a very big part of what we are building. Firstly, log kya kahenge, if that is your problem, yaar, bank mein paisa hai. And karne ko kaam hai, log, they will think of you any which way. So leaving that problem aside, See, if at all a student is stuck in मुझे कुछ नहीं आता है और मुझे बहुत कुछ आता है, I don't know where to. So what we do is, that's why we are building it as a technology platform today. So when you come to us, when you sign up with us, it's for students, it's completely free, but they need to invest about 10 to 15 minutes in setting up their profile.
Nice.
While we ask them certain questions. So a bit of a background about you, we understand. We are like, it's more of a psychometric kind of a thing that you'll have to let us know. If you say photographer, we will re-ask you a question. Okay, when was your last thing? What did you do? It can't be you click some pictures on a phone and you call yourself a photographer, right? You can be, but there need to be some definition of who you are. So we help them. See, the whole idea of, if you don't know anything, let's take a worst case situation. You don't know anything. That's when we, push you to do a basic gig, which is more like an event crew. वहां पर you are under a team or event manager who will guide you to, अच्छा table यहाँ से उठा के यहाँ लेके आओ, ये करो. When a guest comes, say hello. A bit of a brief is being given. So these are low hanging fruits. So we help them first take up those gigs first, and once they're matured, even with a delivery executive, right? It's a very interesting question. I'll tell you why. Recently, we've been working with one of these big quick com, and the idea here is, let's see which are out of like 10 students. If there are 5 students who are doing delivery executives last 5 months, I'm sure there is a knowledge of dark store by default that they are getting. Right?
Very true.
Because dark store as a touch point, you are going and coming, going and coming. So kuch to you're observing. Kuch to you're,
very
so
true.
Can we, from your delivery executive, can we move you to the dark store?
Dark store.
In the dark store, once you understand how the inventory and other things are, so the moment, see, all it takes is willingness. With a willingness, you sign up with us. Rest, we will help you carve the path out. Do basic things first. You cannot expect that mujhe, per hour I will end up earning 250, 300 rupees in my first gig. It's not possible. If you're skilled, you already know your path and everything. But if you come as a clean slate to us, that's why an aggregator like us are required. See, you're right. Fear of somebody disrespecting, don't worry. We as an aggregator, we are sitting only for this. As an aggregator, we are making sure demand and supply are equally taken care
of.
The other is, what if someone don't pay? Don't worry. We are anyway there as an aggregator. So both the parties, when they sign up with us, a very mandatory KYC is being done. Okay. If at all an individual is coming to hire, the public health of that person is also evaluated. Are there any court cases, criminal proceedings, habitual signal jumper? Today, technology is solving a lot of things,
problems,
right?
Yes.
So that's what we tell you. Just make up your mind and sign up with us, or you walk into, okay, not promoting Timbuktu, keeping aside, walk up to any of these supermart also. Weekend mein ya evening hours mein, they will need extra manpower. So they will not give you immediately job if they don't have, but they will say come back next week. Okay, if they don't have, ask another question. Do you know where else can I
get it? True.
So it's mindset basically.
And I think more than money, not more than the revenue. Yes, no doubt that is also equally important. But the learning what they come from. I mean, because to be very frank, in my early days, I would say 10 plus domains where I would have tried on, including selling chocolates on streets, to be very frank. So those were the days where I would say there was a need, right? But today, when I look back, that day I would have cribbed. Was why God have given me these days? Why should I have to work so much? But today, when I look back and see, those were the days which made me today sitting here.
Agreed.
Right? Because a lot of things, life lessons are not taught in books. So that's never there. And even in GIBS, we have a practice of guiding all the students that whenever you get into, only 2 things you need. One, willingness to work. That might be anything. Just be a part.
Correct.
Whether you win, whether you lose, whether you understand, you don't, that's absolutely okay. Once you're part of it, you will learn a lot of things.
Absolutely.
And today, the biggest thing is, as you spoke about the events, right? Even when we say crew, the crew has to get the work done, even from probably, I would say, the lowest cadre of the people, probably the housekeeping team or anybody for that matter. At the same time, you're also interacting with the world's best people. You get an opportunity to interact with them, greet them, meet them. So you learn so much of communication there. And today, as you rightly mentioned,
presence of mind, everything.
Presence of mind is very important. You spoke about one thing which spoke about ki aaj storytelling. I want you to put little light on this because people forgot This is also an art, but I would not call it as an art at this point of time. This has become a necessity of the art. So how would you take that, the art of storytelling, or how important the storytelling is?
See, the best marketeer, best advertisers for yourself is you, right? I have learned it very hard way. I'll tell you where I've learned it. I don't know how many of you can relate. So I lost my mom at a very young age. I was 8. I was still a school topper. I was doing very good in my sports. But whenever I was in family gatherings, because my mom was not there as my spokesperson, it's usually mothers or fathers are your spokesperson. So I saw that my spokesperson was not part of my story. And I saw my aunt and uncles talking about their kids. I'm like, wait, I am also doing similar things, or I'm doing much better. But why is nobody speaking about it?
True.
That's when, it's very daunting. I get it. Storytelling is not easy. So for me, when I was 9-year-old, I had to make these uncles and aunts and relatives, they were good, they were not me, shut them and, wait, I can also tell my story in my own way. For me, it started like that. But today, when I look back, it is important for every kid to have confidence in telling them, owning up who they are. See, storytelling has 2 parts. One, you need to own up what is happening. You need to accept what the story is, that you failed, you're past, you've succeeded. Even when you failed, the way you can tell that story is that's where you will not feel the pain of losing it, because you can still make it very
Today, nice. I would say most of the failed stories are making business.
Of course. So there are 2 parts to storytelling. One is first own up it and see how true, with a lot of emotion, you can speak about it. With this generation, the problem is, I don't know why they feel that expressing is overrated. Why they feel expressing is cringe in their word. No, it is important to tell the stories. Otherwise, how will anybody know who you are? It is important. Everyone should know how to at least sell themselves, market themselves. Like I said, storytelling starts from owning up what your story actually is, and then you build on it.
Amazing. So one question I have here, when you say marketing yourself, right? Do you consider that public speaking, or I would also call it as personal branding, is important in anyone's life?
Yes. See, it is democratized. They live in such a world today. Everything is accessible. Instagram is free. Earlier, if anything was supposed to be part of media, it was all paid. If you know those paid spots on the newspapers, right?
Yes.
Today it's free. You just need to, and I'm sure everyone has a basic camera of cell phone.
I remember in my probably our early ages, we used to have this pager, right?
Yeah.
So every single pager message you have to pay to somebody, and then he used to send a message there. Or probably the fax, again, I would say the similar way, what we can say.
But what I tell is, here also comes another caveat, if I would want to put it that way, that do not make personal branding everything, right? If you think that you have a very good LinkedIn with about 20,000 followers, that will not guarantee you anything. It will open doors for you. It will it will introduce you basically. But beyond that, you need to still work, deliver everything. So whenever people call us for podcast, whatever the media thing is, right? We take a step back and we're like, okay, is this necessary at this point of time? If I do so, what are my, repercussions? What are my ROI? So personal branding is very widely spoken. But like I said, you need to know it's just going to be a visiting card digitally out there. But aapko deliver karna hi padega.
See, until unless we don't deliver, anybody for that matter.
Yeah.
See, it is not that I know something and I can do it, but they say, no, you'll have to win a lottery, you'll have to buy a lottery.
Correct.
So the efforts is important, right?
And you should know which platform, how to use it.
True.
So if you see, my LinkedIn content would be completely different from my Instagram. Instagram is for people who wants to know Mythri in her personal life. What kind of coffee would she like? What kind of color? Like basically on my personality side. But my LinkedIn would be on my thoughts. What are my views on maybe politics, maybe global economical situations. And then comes media on the other side, where you will be representing your company. So you should know which platform to use, what kind of profile to be built. Because today digital footprint cannot be removed easily. So please be wise in using the tools.
Very nice. So recently, I think you've been funded, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of new startup founders, right? They look forward to start something new. So for all those young brains who want to start something of their own, so what are your thoughts? I mean, what is the pathway which they must look forward?
I am a huge believer that Indians by default are builders, are entrepreneurs. Before British era, or if you dig a little more history, because I'm a history student, I've done my bit of a research, or South Asian subcontinent for that matter, we are entrepreneurs.
True.
Okay. It's there in our blood. It's there in our genes. We need to, and for having such a good, topography, everything as a resource today, I don't want to talk about the policies, and those are work in progress. For a 75, 80-year-old company, I don't think so we should get in there. But being Indian, you have it in your genes to be an entrepreneur. It's just that in between, a corporate slave mentality was put on us, and we have chosen. Corporate is great, stability is great. I'm not talking about it, but a lot of us can be an entrepreneurs, is what I feel. If anyone amongst your students are looking at building, I have a very practical playbook that I work with. I always, when I begin, I see 0 to 1 as my journey, 1 to 10. I know what my vision is, what my goal is, but to build, you need practical roadmap or a plan. For me, I always say see 0 to 1. Don't see beyond 1.
Beyond 1.
Let market signal you that you're ready for 1 to 10. Do not go by all the funding news. It's not fancy. It's not at all fancy. Given a chance today, I don't want to raise funds. Now that I am into it, I will have to do it. But you can, if you can avoid it for as long as, and build it, bootstrap, build it. Again, it's if the scale needs to come, you need to raise fund, you need to go raise fund. But 0 to 1 is a very crucial journey. But before that, at a student level, there are a lot of grants that are available.
True.
Right? A lot of seed funds that are available. So aim for that. Once you find that 0 to 1 and your MVP and everything is being tested, when you think this can become a venture scale, because the moment you take someone else's money, there are two things. One, on a practical aspect, you are only working to return that money back.
Right? Two of them back.
And other is, I believe in a karma a lot. So taking someone's money and risk, of course, it's an investment that they've made, but it's still, there is some amount of karma that gets attached to it.
Yeah, intentions makes a lot of difference.
Yes. So that's my go-to, and I've followed, because I've seen the mistakes I did in my last two startups was I didn't see 0 to 1, 1 to 10, 10 to 100. I always, oh my God, if I do this, I will go. You will eventually. But before that, we need to do this, and it's a permutation combination of a lot of things to go right, wrong, and the investors that you meet should be quality investors, believing in your vision, and a lot of things. Yeah.
So when I speak about, you spoke about karma, you spoke about intentions and all those things. So when we speak about all this, do you really think it is important to have the right thought process?
Of course. I am very, from young age, not now that I would talk philosophically, but there is always, this has been part of my upbringing thanks to my dad, but I've always seen spirituality as part of very existence. I don't know, can we take that route in this podcast? But there is something called Tattvamasi that I was taught at very young age. There is God within you. So what does that mean? Like, I will act like a God and tell that I will give you boon? No, it is about being conscious of every action, being mindful of everything. See, can I tell this story? If
Please go ahead. I think you had something you had done in your TEDx, the TEDx also, right?
The Shiv Parvati Kalyan. But I want to today talk about when Ravan came to kidnap Ma Sita, he came in sadhu vesh, right? So my logic to it is, if you had come in your original format, being Rakshas, the Ravan, I don't think so it would have created such a massive impact, right? But you chose to change your attire. You came in sadhu vesh and you kidnapped. Now the repercussion of it is, people for many, many ages, for many, many maybe yugas, or even today, they look down on that whole community.
True.
Now, when I'm an entrepreneur, what do I take back is, when I, as a startup founder, sit here and talk, I have a community to represent. When I take someone's money as form of fundraising, If I misuse that fund, there is another fellow startup founder who will get hit by it. So it's just not that I have a responsibility here, right? I'm representing something. So for me, all of us, even if I'm a student, even if I'm a parent, I'm a mother, whatever role, I am representing a set of community here. If I play wrong, my entire community gets affected. So for me, this was taught by my dad, and I always remember, you know what, when I do wrong, other 100 Mythris or other 100 people will get affected by this. So being an entrepreneur, being mindful is very, very important. And my co-founder Apur also believes in it. In fact, I started company in 2022 and he joined me in 2024. The one thing we didn't speak anything else in that meeting. All we spoke about was intention. आपका क्या intention है इसके साथ? क्या करना है? बड़ा सा पैसा बनाना है, बड़ा सा घर खरीदना है. What is our intention? Let us put the purpose on the table. If our purpose matches, then we are working together. Because like I said, temptations are very easy. It's very easy. Yeah, my friends who are doing in a corporate today and C-class executive are buying nice car, holidaying somewhere. When I see their photos, I also get like, shit. What if I had that extra money? I could have done it, right? And then in that moment, if I look at my company's bank, acha, yahan to hai paisa, main yahan se. That is when you will lose this. If I do it once, I will do it every time. So for me, at what intention so whenever there is someone who, took the money and misbehaved with that money or deviated that money elsewhere, my heart aches like shit because of you. Next time when an investor sits, he will drill us on this point under due diligence. So I want young people to understand there is so much as a founder that you're responsible for. You're responsible for salaries, you're responsible for someone's investment, responsible for your family, you're responsible for your own dream. It's not easy, but it's a lot of fun.
I must say that it is so nice to hear that one is about the karma, two about the intentions, what you're going through. And as I think you've hit right on the nail where it says like one person does something, that reflects to the entire community. Correct. Because even we see day in, day out, but we don't realize it. The awareness, I would say, is very, very important. But I feel if I'm sitting in this position, if I speak something which I shouldn't, I'm sure the entire community is being held for that.
The whole podcast host, other hosts will also get the burn of it.
The same thing. So when you mentioned about the dignity, right? The earlier in I've seen a lot of your podcasts and a lot of things. So you were really very conscious about the dignity of the labor.
Yeah.
So what you mean by that and how it came all the way?
So I think growing up in tier 3 city gives you a real front row seat to a lot of drama in life, right? So I've seen ambulance driver ko bhi izzat nahi dete. Prime Minister ko bhi izzat nahi dete. This I tell it everywhere because I've seen one of my neighbors was an ambulance driver.
Okay.
And to me, he was a hero because he is saving lives. Right? I grew up thinking. And one day I heard within his family gossip, like speaking about, yaar, koi nahi ladki nahi de rahe isko because he's an ambulance driver and he's always carrying death with him or and like ill health with him. So it's a bad woman. That I think I was about maybe 13-year-old. That made me think a lot. Oh my God, to me, this guy is a hero. Ambulance driver is saving lives. And now someone is not ready to give him a girl in marriage. What's wrong? And then that was my first exposure to the whole, the conversation around. And then when I started observing, then I realized, kisi kaam ka izzat nahi hai. No one has respect in this country. Why? Then I realized, okay, if you're an engineer and a doctor, these are only two prospective places where you get izzat. Why is so? Because I've seen people talking bad about government employees also, that bribe hota hai, ye hota hai, politicians ke bare mein baat kar rahe hai. Matlab main karu to kya karu? Like, I don't want to be an engineer. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't enjoy it. So that's where my whole discussion about dignity of labor started. In fact, I wanted to, as a child, I wanted to go deep into it, understand more, but you get into the you get into the circus of leading this life. But today what I feel is at least now this generation should leave that behind and see everyone. आपका काम भी बहुत important है. मैं अभी Delhi से I just landed day before yesterday from Delhi, so I was driving to airport and it was too hot. So I requested my driver, can you park us? I want to buy a bottle of water. So I bought a bottle of water and I saw there was a Sprite chill, like a cool, cold Sprite. So I said, de do. And then I offered that to my driver. He was like, I don't know what changed in him. Post that, his behavior towards me was, बहुत आशीर्वाद बोलते ना, with lot of good wishes he dropped me to airport. He said, मैम आप बहुत तरक्की करोगे लाइफ में. आप, मैंने क्या किया? मैंने आपको एक स्प्राइट ही पिलाया.
True.
10 रुपए का स्प्राइट.
But again, I would say the intention matters there.
Exactly. So to me, then I told him the same thing. भाई जो आप कर रहे हो वो भी important है, जो मैं कर रही हूँ वो भी important है. आप मुझे सही टाइम पे एयरपोर्ट नहीं छोड़ोगे, मेरा मीटिंग नहीं होगा. Everyone gets affected. So your work is as important as mine. So this we practice even in TimbuckDo. I'm not telling because I sit here. Dharma is our house help. When we recently did an offsite, I made sure we as a team made sure she stays in the same room as I and Apurva are staying. She sits and eats in the same table as we are. Not because she's a house help, we'll give her a low cadre room, we will make her eat somewhere else. That's not at all as part of culture. It's safe. So that's how we are building, and that's how I want my team also to build the company. That should be the culture of the company. I don't know, can I change the world about it? But I will make sure at least inside my house and inside my office, everyone are respected for whatever role that they are doing. Everyone are important. If you are not there, I cannot sit here. If I can't turn up, everyone are camera person, editor, everyone are as important as. The problem is India has a very hero worshipping, hero driven mindset. But I think over a period of time,
that's very, very true, because it's I would say circle.
Yeah.
And as you say, everybody has to be in the loop. Correct. And even one chain gets disconnected, you cannot move forward.
Yes.
Right. So moving again, I want to understand, you had you were speaking about the grants, right? The government grants they get. So if you can put little light on that, and I think you are also a Karnataka government affiliated elevated. So how do you put it across? What awareness should students have when they get into this?
See, all of it are mostly on internet today. All it requires is to dig deep little research. But there are programs like Startup India. There are programs like Startup Karnataka, Hyderabad, like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh. They also have some grant, Maharashtra. So every state has their own startup policies, and there is a national policy, right? So for example, I can only speak for Karnataka for now because I've experienced. So with Karnataka's Elevate, which is designed for when we I'm talking about 2024, we got about 22 lakh as a grant, which is non-dilutive. Not even 1% of equity was given. It was non-dilutive grant. There are also startup at India level, at Startup India level, there are seed funds that a lot of incubators are enlisted. So it happens in a very transparent format as well. So with Karnataka, when I've anyway been an entrepreneur, I've heard about these programs earlier as well. So there are a lot of boot camps that you can be part of, like Head Start do their boot camp. In fact, Idea was where we were part of, they've also come up with a Women Accelerator program. So there are a lot of boot camps and accelerator programs where also on the final day you get to pitch. What I always request students is be part of a boot camp. Learn from basics, how to make a pitch deck, how to achieve market fit, what kind of slides this you need to go. Even basic of those things, right? How do you build your team? How many resources would you put? So all of these things are vastly covered in boot camps. So I think it's about 3 months program. There are international programs as well. There are tech grants that you get. All it requires is you identify what is your idea first. Which domain does it fall under? Does it fall under HR tech, IT? It comes under SaaS, comes under bio, AI, whatever the segment it is. And today there is AI for everything. Claude to make your presentations, Gemini to make your posters, everything. Mostly it is all sorted, right? And if you have the idea at an ideation level, I always request students to be part of a boot camp. From there, they will only lead. At least you get a network of people, community of people who are already building, which is very, very critical and important. After that, you identify which sector you would fall under. If you're not See, for example, when I was applying, there was no HR tech as a sector.
True.
We spoke to government of Karnataka, requested them, can we also participate? Mostly when you speak, they accommodate. Once you apply, again, you go through the process. But you should know, you should keep your documents correct.
Correct.
If you are just at an ideation stage and then go as a proprietary, investment may not come through because you need to have certain, and it's a rule, it's a Ministry of Corporate Affairs rule for which nobody can change rule for one person. But there are some grants which you get at an ideation stage also, but you need to submit a business plan for it. You will have to tell how this grant will be used post the money comes in. For example, operation ke liye 20%, tech ke liye 30%, market. So you will have to give them a plan. So don't go in empty hand and apply and think that you will not get that grant. Thoda basic work to karna hi padega. But these are some of the grants. I would say do a lot of boot camps, be part of accelerator programs. There are plenty of them. And then identify which sector you fall under and look for which the state government or a central government grant. If it is biotech, AI and all of those, where there is a social cause attached to it, there are grants. There are multiple plenty grants. Even family offices do give.
Nice. So when we speak about, again, finances, we are speaking about. So how important it is a student to think that he needs to be independent, at least financially?
Yes, 200%. Because if I ask you a question, what was your definition of financial independence when you were 17, 18?
Pocket money, 500,000, 2,000?
If I put it in a even practical way, bunk Friday first class, go to theater, watch Friday first show, come out, have one plate of chaat. This was our financial independence.
True, very true.
But today, there is a new coffee shop every day opening. They want to go on a date. They want to invest 100 to 100 rupees in retail trade and call themselves a trader. You know, the pressure of money is way too much on this generation. Their Spotify is costing subscription. Their Netflix is costing subscription. For us, it was just one TV put up. Jo aa raha hai, wahi dekho. Sab dekho. Sabke saath dekho, hai na? Unka, like, there are needs and wants are completely different. And money conversation is entering their life when they're 16, 15. You walk into any cafe in Bangalore and if you see 16, 15-year-old also using an iPhone, which for you and me was a dream. I think end of our 20s or early 30s, we would have got a phone. So for them, it is, see, but the size of the pocket money is still same.
Still this.
शायद आपको उनको 500 or 1,000 rupees extra मिल रहा है, but inflation देखो, आप coffee का cost देखो, everything is increased. And they are exposed to everything so much. Everything is open-ended. You cannot tell them, you know what, start your life at 22, the way they all told us this. 10th pass karo, uske baad second PU, then graduation karo, uske baad life shuru hoga.
No, it's not that way, yes.
They need money now, right? And finance, again, having money is one thing, but using it wisely is another thing. But what I've seen in my experience of building TimbuckDo last 4 years, interacting with lakhs of students, is khud ka paisa hota na, when they earn.
They know how to spend.
Yes. If it is father's or mother's money, they don't think twice before spending it. But when they earn their own money with their own hard work, they will think twice, oh my God, weekend mein maine 4 ghanta kaam kiya hai iske liye. I don't want to spend unnecessarily here. So money is important. And you should not keep them away from money, because the moment you keep them away from money, luckily now betting apps and all are gone. But I still know that behind the screen during IPL and all, betting still happens among students or that segment of target group. You will have to open them to the real work exposures, help them earn their own money, let them earn. You can't talk about financial independence when you're opening your first bank account at the age of 22. Ab kya sikha rahe ho? If you're not giving them money and you're telling them how to manage money, to me that's put them in water, no? Let them learn the swimming. You can't give swimming classes from the shore. You will have to put them in the water. Money is important.
Money is important. Great. So one last question I have for you. Now when we speak, since we are on the IRE platform, so what is your thought when I speak about innovation, when I speak about research? And I'm sure we have been speaking about the entrepreneurship all this while.
It is important for India's whatever $1 trillion economy that we are planning. You guys should just keep doing it, keep pushing. Otherwise, people like us will start building companies, which will take a lot of time, who had no idea of innovation and research. But I feel innovation, research, entrepreneurship should go hand in hand. And this, yeah, I'll tell you why it is important, because it will help us become self-reliant,
True.
self-sufficient, our dependency, our sovereignty, everything. Today, when some other countries are going for war, why is the heat hitting this side of the world?
True.
Are we not self-reliant? Are we not self-sufficient? Why is this not still achieved? Is because we lack research, we lack innovation. Though India or Bharat is the house or the land for knowledge and everything, but for it to resurface again, these are very important. I love to collaborate and work with academics like yours to keep that, engine on. Research,
the momentum going.
Yes. India needs it.
One thing which I just got and thought, you spoke so much about the students, right? You have made the platform for students. Out of curiosity, I'm asking this: why not for others?
You know what? I every day get this question through my DMs, emails. A lot of women write to us.
Specifically, I had women in mind because a lot of them are looking forward to such platforms.
Honestly, today I'm a logical founder. I do not believe in chasing multiple rabbits. I want to build for niche and I want to build for community, and that's student. But I'll give you a very business answer to it. Is it's a gig platform at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I need to look at my ROI. When is my EBITDA turning positive? Blah, blah, blah. Board investors and everything. So when I look at global trend today where gig is heading, gig is the future of the work format. That's agreed and done. But do aggregators like me, like TimbuckDo, will flourish, or what is the situation like? So there are already Fiverr, Upwork, freelance.com, and a lot of them out there. But if you see somewhere their growth is not as quick or high, or the revenues are shrinking, it isn't growing in the pace that we all are anticipating it to grow. It is because gig is it's a standby solution, right? It's not a full-time career option. It's a standby option. It's a stopgap arrangement. Stopgap is the right answer. Stopgap arrangement. So when my platform, when I get talent on my platform, either they get their dream job and they leave my platform, or they will become an agency owner. So for me to retain my top talent always is a challenge when I'm a gig platform like Fiverr or Upwork, when I open it for everyone, make it for masses. But when I build it for niche, stopgap is best for students. Because I'm not promising your career. You have time after your college, you have a stopgap, here is your arrangement. And this population renews itself by 1% per annum. So there are new students coming every year to the system. So business-wise, logical-wise, we would want to build it for students. I don't know TimbuckDo 2.0, 3.0, what universe has, but today it's for students. God willingly, we will do justice in whatever we are doing.
So if, just as a part of the introduction to the audience, if somebody would love to get into any sort of gigs, so what is the process? How do they get into it?
Just if you are a student, just download. We are available on Apple Store. We are available on Play Store. Just sign up. Make sure you set your profile. You do your KYC. You do your verification. And there is also a 7-minute tutorial that we give. It's just to impart you a basic etiquettes on how to behave with an HR or anybody who's an employer for that matter. You can't say, hey, what's up, buddy? There is still a decorum that you need to maintain. So it takes about 12 to 13 minutes for you to set their profile up. After that, you can start applying for the gigs. Today, it's a good thing, but it's also a challenging thing. Our jobs are always oversubscribed.
Wow.
By 40% at least. So we are in middle of a fundraise, and if investors are watching, you should know that we are currently moving towards building this as a pink collar category. Our tech is we are upgrading in a very big way. Hopefully, we will be able to generate much more jobs than what we are generating today. Podcasts like this do help us, reach out to the right voices. Yeah, just sign up. It's a technology platform. If you are using LinkedIn, it's as simple and as easy as that.
Okay, and if anybody wants to start something, what is the smallest ticket size which I would say at least a student works for about 2 hours a day, what he can expect?
20 hours a week. I'm just giving you a ballpark. You can earn so on an average monthly, you can earn anywhere between 9,500 to 15,000.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Per
really-
hour, if you do math, it's between about 110 rupees to 150 rupees per hour.
amazing. I think that's quite decent, and
Yeah,
it's really good.
In a starting scale, the moment you build up, you even had one of these students from St. Joseph. He made 1.5 lakh last year.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you go to his LinkedIn, you'll keep scrolling in the experience because he's keep adding whatever gigs he's doing. Yeah, there are students who are.
But I think they can fund their own education. They don't have to be dependent on
We
anybody.
want them to. We want them to. At least a portion of it you should.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Mythri. It was
Thank
really
you.
amazing having interaction with you. And I have learned a lot of things, to be very frank,
Thank you so
because I'm a big advocate of this, that I want each student of us should do something.
Yes.
Because they have an ample time. I did it during my college days. I used to tutor students. I have done a lot of businesses. So what happens is I want our students to get onto their roles, get onto the field.
Yeah.
Let's understand, forget what money are you earning, but the first-hand experience what you get, that's gonna take you to the rest of your life.
Agreed. You summed it up really well. In fact, Apur, my co-founder, when he was working in his last, he exited with a very good role. He was working with Swiggy. So he always tells that when he hires a fresher without any practical knowledge, for an employer, more than a resource, you become a liability.
True.
Why call yourself a liability in any company, right? Go do like little exposure will make you be at least an industry ready candidate today. And why we are excited to build TimbuckDo is we become part of. You will forget your first love, you will forget your first trust, but you will never forget your first money you earned.
Very true.
So we are that in students' life. That's why we are excited. But you know what? I've done too many podcasts. I've been part of multiple college conversations with faculties, with due respect to everyone. But I'm so happy when people like you accept gig as a norm.
No,
it's important.
It is important.
So thank you for double clicking on our. I'll build TimbuckDo with more confidence now.
Amazing. If you have to give a last message to our audience, if you would love to.
Like the whole purpose of this podcast is innovate research and entrepreneurship. I think we are in a great time. India is going through an amazing time. So I think we should all ride on this wave and build something, contribute to the nation in whatever capacity we can. But I have immense faith in Gen Zs, even if it is not looking the same on social media. But I have immense faith in this generation.
Amazing, Mythri. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure is all ours. We would also love to host you or your students in our office. We are your neighbors almost.
Very, very close by.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure having you. Thank you. For everyone, our students, our faculties, and anyone watching this, I hope what you have to take away from this session is research doesn't have a lab or a journal. Sometimes it means sitting with 1,200 students and actually listening. Innovation does not always mean breakthrough the technology. Sometimes it also means fixing a broken system that everyone just had accepted. And entrepreneurship means it just began the moment you decide that the problem you lived through deserved to be solved for everyone else too. I must thank Ms. Mythri for taking her time and your story and the work what you are doing today across the students' fraternity in India. We are rooting for TimbuckDo. And more importantly, every single student who lives and lives touches. To our audience, if the conversation sparks something in you, share it, discuss it, and act on it. That's what IRE Podcast is here for. This has been GIBS IRE Podcast. I'm Sandeep Mansali, signing off for now. Until next time, keep innovating, keep researching, and keep building. Keep doing your gig works. Let's earn. Let's return to the society and take care of yourself. All the best. Thank you so much.